Hello and welcome to May's edition of Soul2Soul. I have, oh, my light is dropping, but we're not going to start that again. This is what happens, isn't it, when it's all free, free flowing. I have the amazing honour this month to chat to Calista. And I have said that right, haven't I? Because I never checked that with you.
Calista, yeah.
Calista, I thought I had a moment then. Who is, I've got her lovely book here, is an award-winning author, #1 bestseller of The Female Archangels. And this book came for me last week. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't had a chance to read it all, but I'm very excited and I have had a look through. So, Calista, I'm really, really honoured to chat to Calista today because I have worked with the Archangels for as long as I can remember, but consciously around 8 years. I'm an angelic Reiki master. That came after realising I was working with Archangels. I connect with Archangels a lot on my end of life work as a soul midwife. And but what was really interesting is I have always felt a feminine presence, a feminine energy around working with Archangels. But no one talks about it, and it used to confuse me. I've even asked my own master, the association, and no one can really answer it. And when we talk about feminine energy, we're not talking necessarily genders here, are we? We're talking about the energy, which is feminine. And no one talks about it. And it was always so confusing, part of my own personal journey that was missing. And then, I stumbled upon this about 6 months after really sitting in my sacred space and asking for guidance, like something's got to change around this. The feminine is rising, yet nobody's talking about the female archangels. And then Calista had this book, and I messaged you, didn't I?
Yeah.
And we've not met, to be honest with you, but it felt right, and I always follow my gut. And you said the same. So I was very honoured that you felt okay to do this with me. So thank you so much for being here, because I know how busy you are. Like, I know, and I'm really grateful.
Oh, I'm so honored to be here. And I feel like you are an angel. I really do. It's almost like the angel within me and the angel within you know each other already.
Yeah.
And we've already connected. So it's really funny.
Little friends. I love that. What colour would your angel wings be? What colour are they?
Oh, I don't have it anymore. But there used to be an angel, like an angel tapestry behind me that some of the students, some of my angel healing students got made for me, and it was turquoise, blue, and green, like a sea foam
Oh,
color.
that's beautiful.
That would definitely be my angel wings. What about you? That's a great question.
Mine are, and they've come to me in meditation a lot, are white with a gold trim. I'm very
Oh, I
connected
can see that.
to the
Yeah.
gold ray. Yeah, yeah. However, I have a very good friend, and the first time she met me, she saw me with blue wings, which I thought was interesting. But no, white with gold trim. That's what
Perfect.
keeps coming to me. And I very rarely talk about that publicly. I very rarely my
Come
wings
out the
are
angel
gold trim.
closet, Rachel.
You've dragged me out the closet now. No, yeah, no, I love that. I definitely feel connected to you, so that's lovely.
Good.
So, tell us a little bit about your journey to this work, because I know you've just mentioned before recording this that you're in the Daily Mail today, mainstream media, talking about
Yeah.
lots of
The
different types of spiritual stuff.
yeah, the mainstream is changing, which is great. About 2 weeks ago, I was on a national radio station talking about unicorns, which I never thought would ever happen. And then today, yeah, in the Daily Mail, which I think is the most read newspaper in the UK, part of a cover story on earth-based spirituality and magic, talking about speaking to trees and fairies when I was a young girl and still doing it. And I just think this is fantastic. And there's a lot in the press and the media that's like doom and gloom, but actually there's so much light and positivity if we just change our perspective and witness it. So I'm really glad that this is sort of filtering through. And we now have, we're seeing it more and more. We now have practitioners like Reiki practitioners coming into working with the NHS.
Yeah.
And you said that you're working a soul midwifery. Did you
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
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 Just Brilliant.
within the actual hospice. So I was 2019 asked to be, I mean, there are lots of soul midwives working in healthcare, but they're mainly behind the scenes, as in like they're not known as a soul midwife, but they have that
Yeah.
training. But actually I was asked to be an official soul midwife with my badge and everything on the spiritual
Wow.
care team in my local hospice. And also Public Health England, Public Health, my local authority, commissioned me last year to teach end of life, holistic end of life care to care workers. So a lot of this stuff is becoming more recognised and mainstream. It's a bit tough,
Hooray. Yeah.
but we're moving forward. For me, the power is aligning more of the science and medicine, the masculine, with the unknown, the natural, the holistic, the feminine, and bringing them together into balance. And whether that's health or well-being or whatever that is in life, that's where the power is, trying to get mutual respect and balance between the two.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
amazing what you're doing. I can't believe you're in the Daily Mail today. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, I wasn't always a spiritual teacher and author. For a big part of my adult life, I was a cancer research scientist. Um, very different in my outlook, different in my being as well. And it wasn't until I had a spiritual reawakening, I guess, in 2006, when I began to meditate and meet the angels who I knew so well in my childhood. They were there in my childhood. Had my first experience meeting my guardian angel when I was 6. And a lot of my family members were spiritualist mediums, healers, midwives. My mum worked in veterinary science. So that sort of thread of healing was really strong in our family. And I guess I went more into the academic side of healing up until that point. But yeah, after I left mainstream science into more of a angelic spirituality and science, that's really when I began this really conscious love affair and partnership with the angels. And the archangels, the more the masculine, like Michael and Raphael, came forward, but as did the feminine, the archaea. Archaea, the name for the female archangels, archaea means origin. So they help us to get to the origin of who we are. They help us to remember our divinity, but they also help us to get to the root, which is why I feel such a connection with you. Like they help us to get to the root of our fears, insecurities, habits, addictions, to heal, really heal, rather than just, paper over the symptoms or,
Distractions.
a distraction. Yeah. Which is the feminine way, is to get to the root and to feel our feelings. And Archaea Virtue, the other half of Archangel Raphael, has this great reminder of, she always says, to heal something, you have to be real to heal. Feel your feelings.
Yeah.
Don't run from them, distract yourself from them. Like, feel your feelings, get to the root, then the healing will take place.
I could 100% agree. That feeling of freedom, when you're actually facing those emotions, particularly the more challenging ones, head on, to work through them and allow them to go through you and out of you instead of looking to suppress. That freedom. So healing to me doesn't mean you'll always like walk around going, I am free, I feel nothing, life just happens around me and I'm not involved. That's just not being human, is it? We're here to have a human experience. Being free to me is not having any fear when challenging things happen and those emotions arise. You are told and experienced and unafraid to work through them head on, allow them to go and be free again.
Yeah, I love that phrase.
Layer and layer out. It's like heavy.
Oh, so true. I love that phrase you said, where you're tooled. That's it, to be tooled, to be empowered with lots of techniques that you can use and apply. And live a fearless, courageous life that no matter what comes to you, you're equipped. You're equipped. Yeah.
It doesn't mean nothing is ever going to happen that doesn't challenge your emotions. Grief in particular is part of the human experience. You can't avoid it. it happens, and it's heartbreaking. And I would say it's probably one of the heaviest, densest emotions you can actually face. And grief isn't just through bereavement either, is it? It's actually like massive life changes.
Yeah.
I think we've all been collectively grieving, through all the COVID stuff and life changes. And a lot of people have struggled with grief. It's been grief that we've been experiencing collectively.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. It's a really heavy emotion. And to work through it is freeing.
It's heavy, but boy, is it a great teacher.
Yeah.
Because grief shows us where our underlying attachments are, like attachments to wounding. I always think for the feminine, our inner wound that underpins everything, like not feeling beautiful enough, not feeling smart enough, not feeling thin enough, whatever, comes from this inner wound of not feeling worthy.
Yeah.
Like personally worthy. And I feel for the masculine, it's feeling like the world, the external is not enough. Like the world is not enough. The feminine says, I'm not enough. The masculine says, the world is not enough. And it's total BS, you know, but again, we can't bypass it. We have to face it.
Yeah.
And yeah, move through it.
Yeah. I did read that bit in your book actually, because it's quite early on, isn't it? About the masculine and the feminine, different ways. Yeah, that was really interesting. Because I've been personally healing for about 10 years now. And I mean daily, deep, really unpicking the layers. And I have got to that point where, and I didn't realise until it smacks you in the face, because you're like, I've arrived, I'm healed. And then no, off you go, bop.
Another layer comes.
Yeah. I've arrived at the incarnated wound, the separation from divine.
Amazing.
That happened around September last year. I'm still working through it, because that is not something that goes overnight, but that is what's underpinned everything in my life. Without even knowing it was there. I wouldn't even say it was subconscious, it was down here, like pit of the soul wound, isn't it? So it's a journey. But the other side of it is not to get addicted to healing either, because I've met people that are addicted to healing, and that's not, you need to be able to live as well, don't you? So it's balance. Everything's about balance. So your book, you messaged me and you said to have a little look at Arkea Grace, I think it was. Grace. And I had a little look, and I like her.
Yeah, she just felt, when you messaged me on Instagram, she just felt all around you. Okay.
I haven't done the attunement yet, because I wanted to do it properly in my sacred space and set up the scene and everything. But I have read it, and I'm looking forward to connecting with her energy, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the angel, the other half of Uriel.
Yeah.
And when we say the other half, you know, because this is such a new subject still for so many people, like you were saying, you've always felt the feminine with the angels, but they've been talked about through this masculine lens.
Yeah.
And I was saying recently on a Facebook Live that many people will connect to Archangel Jophiel or Gabriel or Cassiel or Ariel, and they'll feel that that angel is feminine. But actually they're connecting with the Archaea, the feminine energy. So for Ariel, it would be Archaea strength they're connecting to. Jophiel, they're connecting to Archaea clarity.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we need to break things down, give these beautiful, the representations, the sides of the angels' names in order to understand the feminine and masculine. Then once we've integrated their medicine, they become whole again, as we become whole again. Because I've been asked that question, surely angels have no gender. Yeah, it's true, they do not have a gender, but they have an expression that's either masculine, feminine, or a unified blend of consciousness.
Yeah.
Why? To better relate to humanity and what we are, the essence of what we are, and also the wounding that we're carrying that is now here. And in this Aquarian age, we can't run from our healing what needs to be healed anymore. It's there, and it will keep poking and prodding us in so many different ways until we go, all right, okay.
Yeah. Just tap, tap, tap. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's worth it though, isn't it? it's worth the healing and the journey to look at our wounds. It really is.
It's worth it. And what we're reminded by the female angels is it doesn't have to be heavy. You know, for so long, shadow work, you know, the processing was seen as really heavy. It doesn't have to be like that. It can actually be really light. I had a set just before this podcast, I had a one-to-one session with a beautiful lady in the States. And from one perspective, that could have been really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, she was able to just move through so quickly, and the lightness and the growth that came as a result was just so beautiful. So the healing doesn't have to, we don't have to dread the healing, or we don't have to feel weighted by it. It can actually be very fast and life changing,
Mm-hmm.
completely life changing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. We've all got different perspectives and things to heal, haven't we? But with the going back to the shadow work, it's really interesting because I would say my shadow work came up quite quickly from when my big healing started. But really, how I turned that around was I actually looked at my shadow and I integrated it as part of me. I love my shadow. I made friends with my shadow. I have, I suppose let's take an example. Control. I'm a Capricorn. I'm not a control freak. I don't purposely control people, but I like to have things be in control of things. And that was actually part of my shadow. But, you can flip it around, you can heal with that, and then you can actually you can use that in a good way. It's not a bad thing.
That's it.
It's not a bad thing. It's just acknowledging that and being okay with that. And I also find with shadow work is that a lot of people get stuck in it. So
Yeah.
they think that's where you have to stay. I would say it doesn't have to be like that at all. You just remember, you do some work, remember who you are, that you are love, then go into your shadow, spin it around, make friends with it, and then come back out and be that light.
Yeah.
That for me, how I see it. But like we've all got different perceptions and understandings and teachings, haven't we?
And we just have to do what feels comfortable for us.
Yeah.
But Carl Jung, the psychiatrist that kind of coined that name, the shadow, what's not often talked about is the golden shadow. It's always more like the disowned dark parts of our psyche, like shame and guilt, that we call as the shadow. But there's the golden shadow, which means the parts of us that we see in another person that we admire that perhaps we're not owning within. So, like our inner talents, our gifts, our
Yeah.
ability to shine and express ourselves, that's the golden shadow. And
Yeah.
um, there's an angel in the book called Archaea Serenity. She's the
Mm-hmm.
other half of Archangel Cassiel. Together, they are the angel of fear and the angel of transcendence, and they come forward on the black ray. And a lot of the times, people are like, black. If you see a black angel or black light, that's negative. But actually, it's the total opposite, because the black ray is the deep feminine. It's the part of us that's completely unknown. And within that, there's all different shades, just like within our shadow. There's all different shades, from the most dense, disowned parts of our being to the lightest golden shadow that, again, is often disowned.
Yeah.
But the process is, as you said, integrating it and bringing it back into wholeness. And this is what Serenity and Cassiel do. They hold that space. And I'm just wondering, actually, whether you've worked with them for your soul midwifery.
Probably. I just haven't named them yet, and because I haven't
Yeah.
read their energy yet, I'm gonna like go through it and go, oh, that's the energy I've been working with. I do work with the goddess Freya quite a lot, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't named the archangels that I've been working with, the feminine ones anyway. I sort of know some of the masculine ones because of what we've been taught, but not the feminine. I haven't named them, so I'm looking forward to going through, but highly likely.
Yeah, I feel that, because the people that I've only worked with a few people who literally have requested healing, and then either the next day or a couple of days later have passed. So it was like and what they presented was a lot of them fear,
Mm-hmm.
like the fear of just that little sort of last thread that they needed to let go of
Yeah.
to physical. It was just that fear. And I've never felt so many angels in a room.
Yeah.
Especially Cathael and Serenity, holding that space of going, oh, you're so comforted, you're so held, don't worry, you can let go of the fear.
Yeah.
Because what's awaiting you is just a transition, like a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's just another phase of being. It's not an end.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a real honour to be in that room at that time, because the energy is intense in a good way.
Yeah.
And the room can be filled with angels and archangels and ascended masters, and sometimes they're all there not all of them, but a lot in there at the same time. It's a bit like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
hot in here.
Yeah, it gets very hot. It does get very hot. But yeah, it's a real honour to be in that energy. Honestly, it's so lovely, and being able to bring comfort through angels and archangels to somebody who is on the last few days.
Yeah.
Is really special, and I feel very blessed and honoured that has been part of my soul path in this life. So it is really special, and I hope anyone that's listening who does have connection to angels, hopefully you'll feel comforted by that, because understandably death can bring a lot of feelings and emotions, and I understand why, but hopefully you'll be comforted by that, because they are there. 100% there.
The way that they've spoke to death to me in the past is they call it graduation. So all we're doing is we're just graduate from this physical life. And I'm like, oh, I like that. It's really keeps it kind of nice and light. I'm just graduating. That's all I'm doing.
Up and get your certificate. Well done.
Yeah. Go and have a cocktail at the bar. Go and celebrate your life.
And then we'll decide if you come back again. Do you believe in past lives, actually?
I do. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. But I believe that because I do a lot of one-to-ones where we're doing timeline healing, a lot of when we do the timeline, it's not just past. Sometimes it's concurrent parallel lives.
Yes, yeah.
Now and again, it might be some future timelines, like a person might be stuck in the present because they're connecting to possible future timelines, which is quite a dangerous thing to do. Sometimes that can, if you're not very centered and grounded, it can actually lead to a lot of anxiety, a lot of mental challenges and problems. So I absolutely believe. I believe that we're multidimensional, so we're living lots of different realities right now.
That's like quantum. That's quite the quantum.
Yeah, in the quantum field.
I'm a big fan of that. Yeah. I'm a big fan of quantum healing and stuff. The science and the unknown, the spiritual coming together.
That's it.
It's amazing. Oh, so is there anything else that you would like to share with us about your beautiful book, about the female archangels? Because I got this from Amazon, obviously. Is there anyone else? Did you say Waterstones sell this as well?
Yeah, Waterstones. In fact, because the bookstores have been shut, it's been very difficult, but it's on most places that are online.
Okay, so everyone can hear. I did read the afterword at the back about your journey, about that you'd started writing this book, and then somebody else came and wrote it, and then I just thought, you know what, that's not the first time I see or hear this type of stuff in this journey, but you've got it out there now, which is really important.
I'm really glad it's out there, and it came out. See, the timing of the book, it was supposed to come out a lot earlier, but for whatever reason, the angels were like, everything happens in divine timing, which is Archaea Grace's message. And so it came out the first day of the UK lockdown. And I thought, how ironic, because that's kind of what we need. So I just wanted to share that it's now also in hardback and all the angel images. So there's 11 angels that are profiled in this book. And they came forward because they are the most on purpose right now for where we are. And they're like so beautiful. I don't know if that kind of even comes across. Like the rays, the colors, the geometry.
What page is that? I'll see if I can put it up as well, because my light's not as
Page 95. Did you get the coloured version?
I've had the paper. No, I've had the paperback, which is actually black and white.
Archaea Charity, I am ready to love.
Oh, she's gorgeous. I don't know if you
Isn't she gorgeous?
There you go. So I've only got the black and white version, but you can see how gorgeous she is. Oh, I like the The symbol
So
above her head, is that a lotus?
it is, so yeah, we took like 3 years to create these images, and they came forward and said, this is the geometry, this is the symbols. Quite amazing process, like that in itself. But
Yeah.
they're going to form an oracle deck, which is really exciting. And we're hoping that it's not going to just be your normal, pick a card and get a divination message. I feel like these cards are going to really help to attune people, like really merge the consciousness of the angel to the consciousness of the person. And they've got some really interesting ways how you can use the cards as well that are going to go in the book. It's all forming. But what they're saying in this now moment to share, and I've never shared this in an interview before, is right at the back of the book is this A to Z angel healing prescription list.
Yes, I did look through that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it underpins, like we talked about shadow. Right at the back it says, what are the angels to pick for shadow integration of dark shadows, shadow integration of golden shadows, space clearing, shielding, inner healing work, loneliness, all ailments, chakras.
Yeah.
That took quite a few months to write, but it's really helpful.
Yeah, I'll be using
angels
this
to work with.
Yeah, I'll be using this because I actually think it's quite accurate, because I look at some of the things that I work with. So pain, ME, neuro stuff, back pain, that type of thing. And most of those have Archangel Raphael and I think it's Haniel. I say that in Spanish language, sorry. I sometimes forget, I need to speak English. And interesting, they're all across those, and I work those for myself.
Oh, perfect.
So for me, this seems very accurate for me and my personal journey, which means I trust this to be accurate.
Good.
So I can't wait to start looking at this and helping people that I know, calling those archangels. So yeah, it'd be brilliant. It's really useful. Thank you.
I wonder if soul midwifery is in there.
I don't know.
I mean, it was channeled through. It probably is there. Releasing of fear is in there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It might probably come under death, I suppose, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah, it's probably in there. Anyway, the best angels to work with would be Cassiel and Serenity that we've talked about.
Yeah, I'm going to read about them.
One of the main angels of death and transition, Archangel Azrael, and his twin, Archaea Mercy, who has a really similar vibration to Mary Magdalene, because she was one of the guiding forces for Mary of Bethany, as we know, Mary of Magdalene. So yeah, she's just got a lovely energy. She says that mercy, the act of mercy, is compassion in action. Just being able to offer compassion through your actions, through your behaviors. That's mercy.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's beautiful. It's funny because the energy's just changed in here, actually.
You can feel her coming in. This is what I love about Archaea. It's like when we call on Michael, for example, Michael comes in and he's focused and whatever needs to be done, protection, shield, cutting the cord. Whereas when we work with the feminine, like Archaea Faith, his other half, she steps into you. She steps into the room. It's like, it's like the feminine, which is all encompassing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a big, big hug.
Yeah.
Big hug. That's what it feels like sometimes. It's just like soft. It's like just soft.
I hope everybody can feel that.
I do too, because I felt that change. It changed, like it was really beautiful. Even my voice changed. My voice felt softer. So yeah, I do love that. I love it. Well, up the female archangels, the Akai. Like I can't. I've said that wrong, haven't I? The Akai. I've got my Spanish head on.
Archaea.
I'm saying it all in Spanish. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
I like this Spanish player.
Oh dear, I forgot I'm actually British. Speaking English. Yeah, I'm just so excited to read the rest of this book, and I just thank you so much for bringing this forward into the mainstream as well. I am so grateful for your work. I know how tough it is to step out and become mainstream, to help as many people as you can, because for years we've all been hiding in the shadows, and actually it's time to step forward, and you are a leading example of that. So I am very grateful for you to be doing that, so thank you.
Bless you, Rachel, and bless everything that you're sharing in the world too, and all the space you're holding for the souls traveling over. Like, that's incredible. That's
It's an honour.
incredible work you're doing. Yeah.
It's an honour. Thank you. So we'll leave it there, and I will pop your website in the bit under the bottom as well, for anybody that's interested in following your work, checking out your one-to-ones, and obviously the book as well. Just one more little thing. And thank you so much for your time. Lots of love.
Bless you.